everyone. My name is Julianne Meyer, and I'm the host of Own Your Wellness. And happy Thursday, everyone. It has been quite a week for me. I had some not so fabulous news. My bonus mom passed away suddenly. And so this episode is for you, moms. Anyway, but I don't want to be sad and talk about that because I have got the most amazing guest today. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while now because she is an amazing woman who gives her whole heart and her whole soul to help serve the community around her and all across the world. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest, Erin Lay.
Hi,
Erin.
Hi. It's so great to be here with you.
You're so amazing. Glad that you are here because, like I said, I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while now.
I have too.
I've always loved your energy and your tenacity and so many things about you. You're an amazing entrepreneur and a fabulous mom, among many other things. But I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself in your own words and your own wellness journey.
Sure. And I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. My prayers are with you. Your bonus mom, as you said, your bonus mom. I'm so sorry. So my prayers are with you and her whole family. So about me, I'm a mom. So I'm an empowerment and success coach, and just the host of Life on Track, everything Life on Track, the summit, and the upcoming TV show, the online streaming TV show, an author, a speaker. But what I really love doing the most is helping people get focused and fearless and excited about life. And I believe everything begins and ends with mindset. So I'm so excited to speak about that with everybody today. I love the Own Your Wellness, Julianne. First of all, I love you, and you know that. You're amazing. You're an amazing coach, and you're such an amazing person, and you have a huge heart, and you're fabulous at what you do. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you. Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited for you to be here, and I want to just dive in and start picking your brain a little bit. So anybody who watches my show knows mindset is my thing as well, and I am like obsessed with it. And I know that you've gone through, like most people, but some of your struggles have not everybody's had them. But it has, a lot of you making it through these things has a lot to do with your mindset. So I would love for you to share what the things that might not have been so great for you have helped you ultimately.
Sure. Okay. So I was working on Wall Street when I was in my early 20s, with the Series 763, the insurance license. I say this all the time, with the power lunches. And I was so focused on the outer world. I had no idea there was this whole inner world. And until I was diagnosed with cancer at 25, and I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoblastic lymphoma. So I went from dancing on the dance floor in Casey's in the Hamptons to now in Sloan Kettering. And they're telling me that if the chemo didn't work as fast as the tumor was growing, I'd be dead in a month. And I was 25 years old, so full of life. And I was like, my God, So I read a lot. I went really deep, really fast. And I read a lot of the personal development books, the self-help books. And there's two that I talk about three that I talk about all the time. Full Catastrophe Living by John Kabat-Zinn. Amazing, right? And he has the mindfulness meditation. And in that book in 1991, I sent a check snail mail, and I got the cassette. And I did the mindfulness meditation with the cassette, and Shaki Gawaine's book, Creative Visualization. And then I got hooked on meditation and visualization, combining the two. And so when I was doing the chemo and the radiation and everything else, there were times where I had a white blood count of 0.
Wow.
Fight an infection. And this one time I had an infection where the doctors didn't know where it was coming from. And they told me I was going to die. I had 7 blood transfusions. I had this horrific antibiotic. They call it shake and bake. And they couldn't do any more for me and told me, they were crying, telling me I was going to die. And I told them to get the hell out of my room. I'm like, you didn't tell me about that whole inner world. I told you about this whole inner world that you didn't even tell me about. And so, and I love my doctors, and they did their best, but that's all they knew was the medicine. And so, long story short, obviously I lived, and that happened a couple of times. And so the doctors kept saying, like, how is she doing this? Like, how does she keep living? Every time they go in, to tell me I'm going to die, they're calling my parents and tell me get my things in order. And so, like my stereo, my TV, my parents' house at 25 years of age, like, so, So that was the beginning of me really getting to know about the mindset and what it can do. And I kept defying the odds, and I survived the cancer. And I went on to have the 3 kids with no medical intervention at all, that they swore would never happen because I didn't store my eggs. And there's a ton more stories that I can tell. But how are you?
No, I think that is so beautiful, and it gives hope to so many people out there, because a lot of people, something you said that really stuck out to me is get out of my room.
Yeah.
Get stuck in a diagnosis and take it on as who we are, as opposed to what you chose to do, which is to work on the inner world. And I'm not saying that there's there's nothing wrong with Western medicine. I'm not saying that. I am just saying it's not the only thing.
Exactly. And I wish this country did more of the combining of both. And that's why I hosted the first summit years ago. It was about just educating this country on the holistic side of cancer, like the meditation, visualization. Even I listened to classical music, which balances both hemispheres. Just to add to that, just to add to whatever it was that I was doing, and I didn't even know at 25 at the time what I was doing. I was learning as I went, but even I kept getting shocked, at how amazing. And it feels amazing. Like when you're meditating and you're in the zone. For anybody listening, like just try it. Even if you think it's crazy or you can't sit still for 2 seconds. Just practice. It's like any muscle. The more you do it, the more you build it. But when you get in that zone, like you just feel so at peace. And I really believe that so many people, like I think almost everybody, what they're really striving for, no matter what it is that they're doing, is inner peace. Whether it's they're trying to get financially independent, or they want the perfect relationship, or they want to lose 10 pounds. But I think what everybody really wants is just that inner peace. And that's what meditation brings you. It's right there for you. I'm like, just do it. Just do it.
I love that, because yes, everybody wants inner peace. And then the thing that I always say when people are like, I can't meditate, I can't sit still. It's like a little child, they're sleepy, they're tired, but right before they go to bed, all of a sudden they're off running around. They're off, like, I need this, I need that. But if you can get them to quiet down, they'll pass out. It's the same idea. Your brain, you just got to treat it like a little child.
Exactly.
Quiet down.
That's a great analogy. That is brilliant. Yes. That's exactly it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I just think it's amazing too, because a lot of people don't realize, like, I love that, you're 25, you have basically a death sentence, and you're willing to try something that other people are like, what's that? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what it is. So you can say from experience, this works.
Yes. And throughout my life, like that just basically set the trajectory for my entire life. I mean, I just went through a tumultuous divorce just a few years ago. And when I was like in the depth of the shock and the despair and the heartbreak and everything else, that's what I turned to. And I mean, if I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that meditation and writing a vision for my life a year from now. Like, where do you want to be? Like, I mean, I did that with the cancer. Where do you want to be a year from now? And stay focused on that, like a bubble in front of my right there, right in front of my face at all times, staying focused on that end goal. And you're like, if you're that focused, you reach it, your subconscious gets you there. So I did it with the divorce, and with the meditation and visualization, all that. And I've never been happier, healthier, and wealthier in my life than I am now, and I can honestly say that. And it's just amazing. I want the whole world to know, and I want the whole world to do this, because I know how good it feels. And I know, and Julianne, everything begins and ends with mindset. Everything. And that's where the wellness starts and ends,
Exactly. It's like when you get your inner world right, then the outer world takes care of itself. It's amazing how that works. I love that idea, because I mean, there's this, and I keep talking about this, so bear with me if you've heard this before, audience. I was talking about this, I think, on my last show, but there's an analogy that is worth repeating, and it's about meditation, and it's about Abraham Hicks was talking about this and talking about vacuuming. Like, you're in there, the world is so busy doing and taking action and just trying to get to the next step. So you're vacuuming the room, you're lifting up the furniture, you're going over a couple places twice, you're in there recording, but hey, look, I vacuumed, I did an extra good job, check me out, I vacuumed. And you realize you didn't turn on, you didn't plug it in, you didn't plug in the vacuum. So you did all this work, but you didn't plug it in. And that's the same idea with meditation. If you don't plug in, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yep. I love Abraham Hicks. It's like you're vacuuming and you're not picking anything up because it's not plugged in.
Exactly.
It's so true. It's so true.
So I know that you help other people. You've helped me. And I don't know if I've ever thanked you enough for that. When I first started getting going, like with my first summit, you talked me down off the ledge. Oh my goodness. Like I was so overwhelmed at that time. And look at me now, but
yes, look at you now. Yeah.
But there's something, you help people. And I love that you have a life of service. And I firmly believe that one of the reasons why you are happy, healthy, and wealthy is because you serve other people. Yeah. And I would love for you to share what drives you.
Exactly that. Like I feel called to do what I do. I don't feel like it's a job or it's my business, or like I genuinely feel called. When I get up in the morning, this is the God's honest truth. I'm lit up. I'm like, who is God going to put in my life today? And you were so easy to talk off the, you were not on a cliff. You have it all together. You feel like we all do. Every now and then we just need a little direction. Everybody. And I always say, even Freud would need someone to talk to. You know what I mean? Like everybody would need someone to talk to. We all do. But it's just, it's I lost my train of thought now. I totally lost my train of thought.
No, that's okay. Because I actually have a really good question, because it was like, I hope I remember this one. When we were talking before we went live, you had mentioned about how, you help people with the stories that they tell themselves. I would love you to speak about that.
Yes. And I also remembered why I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I remember the last question now. So I'm lit up when I get out of bed in the morning. And I believe happiness does come from serving other people. I firmly believe that. I've been asking a lot of people, like that are getting up there in age, what do you want to be remembered for? Because I just want to be remembered for who I helped, like the people that benefited from spending a few minutes with me, and so like lives that you change. And they also, for the majority of the people that are, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, they're saying the same thing. Like happiness, it comes from within. If you're chasing happiness, again, if you're looking for the perfect relationship, you'll be happy when you lose 10 pounds. You'll be happy when you have no more bills, happiness it'll never be there. It's elusive. It'll slip away. But when you're serving others, it's just, I believe that's how happiness is created. So for anybody listening, if you're feeling down and out, if you're feeling like life sucks or you can't stand your job or whatever it is, just go help somebody. Like just go serve somebody today. Because once you get out of your own head and into your heart, you drop into your heart and you're in service to somebody else, you feel so good. You feel so good. So with regards to, you're asking about self-talk?
Yes, self-talk stories people tell themselves.
Right. So many people have self-limiting beliefs and the self-doubt. And Napoleon Hill, I love Think and Grow Rich. That's the third book, Full of Catastrophe Living, Shaki Gawain's Creative Visualization, and Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I love that book. I've been studying it since the 90s. And I credit that book for a lot of success, and it doesn't have to just be financial. It could be everything. So when Napoleon Hill said in that book, indecision leads to self-doubt and self-doubt leads to fear, always. And under the category of fear is anything negative: regret, remorse, resentment, anger, anxiety, depression. Any negative thing at all comes into the category of fear. And it can always go back. It always stems back to having not made a decision. I'm all about vision and decision. You know what I mean? Vision and decision. So when you make a committed decision, you know what I mean? Like when you make a firm decision, not like, I feel like doing it, like you really are like Napoleon Hill's burning desire, right? Like the white hot burning desire. You're committed to do that. There is no more self-doubt. There's no more stories you tell yourself. There's no more self-doubt. There's no more, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I can do that. There's no more of that, because you made a firm decision that just bypasses the self-doubt and bypasses the fear, because you can't be in fear and in faith at the same time. So when you make a committed decision, you do so walking in faith, and I love saying walking in faith, because then I feel enveloped, with faith when I'm walking in it. And I did that with the cancer also. I have chills even talking about that. Like, faith is so huge to me. So when you make that committed decision, you're walking in faith, and you have a strong vision, a detailed vision for your life, like where you want to be a year from now. We'll just start with that, then you're making the decisions to get you there. They're not wonky decisions all over the place anymore. They're committed, firm decisions that you're intentional about doing, these goals that you want to do, that will lead you to that ultimate destiny. So you have a choice, and it's a choice. You can stay in the self-doubt and the self-limiting beliefs and speak to yourself, in the most horrific way, in a way you would never speak to anybody else. It's a choice. Or you can switch into that abundant mindset and gratitude and in faith and all these wonderful feelings and thoughts, and go from there. And you'll be amazed at the people, places, and things that you attract back to you, because we put out, based on our thoughts, what we want, and we attract back to us based on our feelings that match that thought, the people, places, and things to get us there. So self-talk is critical. It's critical. And that's why mindset is so huge, because when you have a really good mindset, then the self-talk, it just falls in line.
One of my favorite things is, self-talk. It's like when I started listening to myself and the way I spoke to myself, I was horrified, because like you said, I would never speak to anybody else the way that I spoke to myself. And I would never allow anybody else to speak to me the way that I was speaking to myself. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, if beating myself up worked, I would have a perfect body, $1 zillion, and you name it. But obviously, all it does is make me miserable. So maybe I should give up that habit, because it's not quite working for me.
And look at you now. And look at you now. And look at you now. You're crushing it. You're doing so well. You're doing so well. And that's the simple shift in mindset. When I was in Fearlock and scarcity during the divorce, oh my God, because everything hit the fan at once, and the child support wasn't coming appropriately. And it just, and I had to stop everything for a couple of years. I had written a couple of books, and I was coaching, and I had a radio show on Blog Talk Radio, but I had to stop everything to focus on the family. My sister was diagnosed with cancer at the same time. I became a point of contact. It was just, and I had 3 kids. They were only 10, 11, and 15 at the time. So, and it was all me. There were no dinners or sleepovers. So literally it was me 24/7. So I had to stop everything with regard to the business and focus on the family. So the finances were just basically nothing. I'm going to share this story really quick. And I was in ShopRite, $5 in my pocket. My hand to God, $5 in my pocket. That's all I had. The divorce is a financial hemorrhage. So cash wise, that's all I had, $5 in my pocket. And I was like, please don't let me be humiliated. I just need the milk and bread. That's all I need, the milk and bread. My daughter was with me. She was probably about 13. And it was only 4 and change. It wasn't more than 5. Walking out of ShopRite, I had Napoleon Hill's version of the white hot burning desire to grow my business. And I was like, come hell or high water, I am never going to have this feeling again. I will never be put in this position again. And I grew my business to 6 figures in a year and a half, in a year and a half. And now I hired coaches to scale me to 7 and 8 figures. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it, but you have to be committed and put that vision together. Like, I went home, dating was like not an option. I was like, I'm not dating. I was so focused on growing my business so that my kids and I did not have to worry about the financials, at that point. So anybody can do this.
I love those turning point stories, like Lisa Nichols is similar in her story, but I love your story because it really, I know you. That always makes a difference. But also, even since I've known you, you've grown. And I've known you for like a year, maybe, not even. And you have grown exponentially. And I love that white hot burning desire, because it's, there's a feeling attached to it. And that's the only way I can describe it. It's like no matter what.
Yeah.
I am going to do this. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts, maybes. If I feel like it, let me, take my temperature before I do this. No, it's just like, this is going to happen. And I so appreciate that, because you show your mindset and your decision, you're able to do that. So
Totally. And I did it with the cancer. I did it
exactly.
I did it with the finances. I did it building my business in every area. And anybody can do this. And it's just mindset with a crystal clear vision for your life. It's just a crystal, and everybody can dip down into, the upsetment and the anxiety, but you want to keep your, the vibration. You want to keep your vibe like high. Like I literally am always in joy and inner peace, and I just love, that's how I wake up. That's how I go to sleep, which is so much better than when I was in that fear, lack, and scarcity. And it's a choice. And it literally, I wake up, and within the first 17 seconds of waking up, I meditate, and and it reprograms the subconscious, and, it's amazing.
It is. And, there's something that you mentioned a couple times that I want to touch on, and you talked about clarity. And for somebody like me, there are so many times I would get around the question of clarity, like what I really wanted, by saying, but what if God has a better plan for me? And so I could never decide on what I wanted. So what would you say to somebody like me? Or, because I know I'm definitely not the only person who's ever been like that.
No, and that's very common. And what I would say is, if God has a better plan for you, you'll figure that out when it happens. You know what I mean? So my answer is, put together that crystal clear vision beyond your wildest dreams, Julianne, beyond your wildest dreams, because the sky's just the beginning. I say that all the time. It's just the beginning. So put together a vision. When you say to yourself, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? You're automatically making excuses for yourself right from the get-go. You know what I mean? You're giving yourself a back door, to just get out if you need to. And so I say, you just make the vision and make the decisions, that you need to make throughout the day in faith. And so this way you're doing it in faith. You don't have to worry about how's it going to happen, because you're taking massive action based on the decisions you're making. And then if God has a better plan, he'll put somebody into your life that just, like Eric Swanson for us, right? Uh-huh. I met him last year, and I joined his mastermind. And before the mastermind where I met you, I met you. Did I meet you through Shanda, or no, I met you through Eric's mastermind.
Eric, but we knew each other from,
Okay. So with Eric was put into my life, just dropped out of the blue. He messaged me. I tease him about this all the time, on the 4th of July at midnight, because I was supposed to be a summit, and I had a lot of his friends on, and he wanted to know if there was anything that he could do to help serve the summit. And I thought that was fantastic. I went to his Facebook page to see if he was a lunatic, because when he gets messages from Facebook Messenger, and he was the real deal. And we had, great conversations ever since. But joining his mastermind was a game changer for me and my business. So, and I say it all the time, I was working alone, mompreneur, like working so hard. I had the burning desire, I was working so hard. And none of my friends or family really understood life coaching, executive coaching, summits. I had to explain to them what a summit was. So when you join, like I said, God put Eric in our life. I joined the masterminds, and all of a sudden my whole life picked up. So have a crystal clear vision for yourself. Make the decisions leading you there, and just walk in faith, knowing that if God wants you to go in another direction, he'll put somebody in your life. That was the point of me telling you that story. He'll put somebody in your life that will just grow you exponentially, when the time comes. But don't give yourself that out in the beginning. And I say that to anybody listening. Don't give yourself any excuses or what ifs, and doubt. Oh my God, listen to this. Doubt is a dream crusher. Never introduce doubt. Whenever you have a vision, a crystal clear vision, because God would not have given you, or universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. I say God. He will not have given you the idea, the thoughts to begin with, if he didn't think that you could handle it. So walk in faith, knowing that you can do it. Forget the doubt. The minute you introduce doubt, you just stop everything. The momentum stops, and you'll just attract to you the people, place, and things that will keep you in doubt. And that's an awful place to be. It's an awful place to be. So for you, just have the faith, just have the faith. You can do it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And
I'm really, really excited about what you have.
Oh, no, I am now. And now I do have clarity, but it was definitely something that I struggled with for years. And then I wondered why I wasn't getting anywhere. But if I didn't have any destination, how was I expecting to get there?
Right.
I had nowhere to go.
I have it. Everybody has that, but it's a moment in time. It's exactly. Not, there's too many people that are living that. for you and I, it was a moment in time where we had to gain clarity. We were thrown off track. Everything for me is life on track. And it's not about getting back on track. It's about getting on the track you were born into this world to be on, staying on that track, being excited about it. Like, just get really lit up, be excited about what, for the people listening, what you have going on in your life. Like, if you're going to create a vision, make it a really, really good one. Like I said, the wildest dreams, what do you really want to do? And you'll know based on the feelings. But like losing clarity, that's like anything else. Like, we can dip into anger, we can dip into loss of clarity, but we don't stay there because we have high vibe, like we go right back up to the place of inner peace and happiness and joy. But for the people that are living there, I want them to hear what you and I are talking about, because if you're living that and you're constantly saying life sucks or your job sucks, or these are decisions, this is your reality based on the decisions that's being made. And you have a choice in everything. Life does not have to suck. That's a choice.
Yeah, no, amen to that. Oh, that is so beautiful. We are going to take a really quick break. Because we got to play some commercials. So we'll be right back. Okay, Erin? Thank you so much. Now you guys know I love her, adore her. Isn't her energy infectious? And such a good woman and somebody to look up to and admire, because she wants to bring you with her. And I love that about anybody who wants to do that, but especially her. And to everybody who's watching us live, hello. It's always so good to see you. I wanted to make sure that I said hello to you. And like I mentioned, we do have to go to commercial break. So we will be right back after these messages.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually, you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're just joining, my name is Julianne Meyer and you are watching Own Your Wellness. And today's special guest is Erin Lay. Let's bring her back. Hi, Erin. So I know that you're up to some pretty amazing things right now, and I'd love for you to talk about a program that's coming up real soon.
I'm so excited. So it's my first group course and coaching program. Before the pandemic, I did everything live. And, I used to be tech challenged until I spoke to you before this interview. Based on mindset, I'm no longer saying that. All the answers just come. But yeah, so this is my first online group course and coaching program. And I'm so excited to Life on Track. And it's, like I said before, it's just about getting you on the track you were born into this world to be on. Like, who you are, like who you truly are, what you truly want, how to help you create boundaries and a sense of self-confidence and create that vision that we were talking about. So it's 6 weeks and we get into all of that. And then, the modules go out on Monday. They get to do it at their own pace throughout the week. And then we have that group Zoom call on Saturdays at 12:30 Eastern. And we do that for 6 weeks. And it's a great, great, great kickstart to helping somebody just, like I said, get their life on track. So I'm super psyched about that.
Oh, that sounds super amazing. I'm so glad that you're able to bring this to more people, because I know that what you have to share with the world is amazing. So something that came up for me is there might be some people out there watching that are like, oh, well, I prefer one-on-one coaching because one-on-one coaching is better. And the problem, it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with one-on-one coaching, but with group coaching, you get the environment of other people going through the same thing with you. And you have like this camaraderie, as well as, that group energy that helps carry you through the course. And I just wanted to mention that because I know I used to be one of those people that believed that until I learned otherwise.
I love it. And it's true. And Eric, with his mastermind, he calls it borrowed benefits, right?
Yeah,
borrowed
exactly.
benefits in groups. So somebody could be, and I've learned this for myself also when I participated in groups. When somebody else is speaking, I have aha moments, and there's just so many of them. And so, yeah, being in a group is so beneficial. I do one-on-one, and now I just love doing the group, and I coach all around the world. I have clients across the nation, in Spain, it's all around the world. And I love it. I love it. But being able to do the group coaching throughout the world is amazing. I was doing it locally, the tri-state area here. But to be able to do it across the world is just, what a blessing. Really, I'm 55 years old, so like, this is just incredible. It's incredible. And I'm really, really psyched. I'm looking forward to it. For anybody who speaks English,
Yeah.
I'm psyched. And they can go to lifeontrack.club and they can see more about it. That's lifeontrack.club.
Okay, perfect. And then also they can reach you at erinlay.com. Can they reach? Perfect.
Yep.
And I also happen to know that you are you mentioned that you're a writer, but I happen to know you've got something coming up with writing. Would you love to share about that?
I am so excited. I have so many. So my book, Work Love, is coming out June 1st. And it's my fourth book, but it's my first post-pandemic, futuristic, fictional book. And it's all about bringing love into the world, specifically the workplace. And it has everything in it. I'm so excited. So it's a true love story. So there's romance, there's a rags to riches, there's, traveling into different planets. It's so cool. I don't want to give the whole story away, but it's really going to be beneficial for corporations and human, like HR, because there's so many people displaced, feeling isolated, working from home, that this book is actually, it's just an inspirational story to help teach, really, like, or inspire the way that you can start to communicate with each other in this new world. I'm so excited. So I have that, and I'm also a contributing author to another book series that I'm just, I don't know if it's too soon to talk about that yet, but I'm so excited for that to launch also. A lot of great things, Julianne.
May I guess, is it One Habit?
No. Honestly, I'm not sure if I can talk about it. I started to, and I'm like,
oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, I'm excited. A lot of great. No, it's not that, but a lot of great things. So many great things. It's amazing. But I open myself up to the world of possibilities, and I live in gratitude and appreciation, and and that's just, all these things just keep coming. These opportunities. It's just a blessing constantly.
Well, and for somebody who's supposedly tech challenged, you have a TV show coming up.
I know. Even with StreamYard, it's like I'm going to learn that. And it's funny, I'll learn what I need to learn. Like, when I was doing Blog Talk Radio, I learned how to use that studio, and then Zoom, and I'm learning that. So you just keep learning. I'm all about, my business is called Onward Productions. It's all about like onward and upward, baby. Onward and upward. Learn and grow until we take our last breath. But so it's life on track, how to get into the driver's seat of your own life, instead of letting other people drive your life, instead of letting other things drive your life, like get into the driver's seat of your own life. Because when you do that, you know, you've heard Abraham say this, Esther and Jerry Hicks, where we're like thermometers, you know, like the house has the heater and the air conditioning, right? Like we set the temperature to like 72 or whatever it is, you know? So, and then the home acclimates to that temperature. Well, we're our own thermometer. So with our mindset, we determine like what temperature we want to be, and then the world acclimates. And it does. Universal law. Like I love that stuff. You know, it's law. And so that's what the TV show is going to be about. Life on Track. I'm so excited.
Love it. I'm excited for you. I'm going to be watching. I can tell you that.
We're going to be watching this. I'm psyched. Yeah.
You know, I love that you mentioned it's law, because whether or not you believe in it doesn't mean that it's not true.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you believe in, I mean, it doesn't matter if you believe in gravity. It's still the law of gravity.
Yeah. The law of gestation, you know, like everything has a gestational, you know, babies take 9 months. We plant seeds, water the seeds. You know, our ideas, you know, need time to have that gestational period. Thoughts become things, you know, but we have to water them the way we water seeds, take care of them, nurture them, you know, and then it's law. And again, if you want to stay in negativity and the fear, lack, and scarcity, and you're nurturing that, then ask yourself, why are these people, places, and things coming into my life that are keeping me stuck, you know, and distracted and overwhelmed? Where based on your choice, you know, you can read a little bit about universal law. It's fascinating, but you'll start to understand why these things are happening and why great things come to you when you're in gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah, and how you have the power to change it. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing when you want to, if you're willing to take responsibility, then you can 100% change your life. I love that so much. You know, my spiritual mentor always talks about how everything that is matter was once energy, and like thoughts and emotions are energy. So everything comes from thoughts and emotions. Like an airplane came from a thought or an emotion of wanting to fly. You know, it's everything, absolutely everything. So what are you creating? You're creating no matter what, whether or not you realize it. So if you're conscious of it, then you can do it on purpose instead of by default.
I love this. This is like my favorite conversation. I could talk about this 24/7. And then we have our own personal power, you know, in the present moment. And that's the only time we can create anything, is the present moment. We can't create from worrying about the future or living in negativity from the past, in depression. All of our personal power is in this present moment. And that's where we create from. So do you want to be in the present moment, for anybody listening, in negativity and create more of that? Or do you want to be in this present moment, in the now? Eckhart Tolle wrote The Power of Now, great book. In the present moment, in gratitude and appreciation. And that's where you create from. And you said before, it made me think of creating versus competition. And, you know, people used to ask me, like, you know, how come you have all these coaches on as guests on your summits? And I'm like, do you think I can just coach billions of people? Like we need, like what you and I do, you know, we need as many, we need a troop. We need as many as people. And so, you know, it's just, you want to be in the creative lane. You want to just keep expanding your world, show up as the best version of you, and allow everybody around you to show up as the best version of them, you know, literally, and just work together. Because when you're competing, you're constantly looking sideways. You're looking over your shoulder. You're not looking forward, and you're not creating anything if you're looking sideways or you're looking over your shoulder, you know, and you're clawing your way to the top. And it's not a good feeling. But when you're in your lane, when you're creating in your lane and you're expanding your world, and you're not worried about anybody, like, you know, competing with you, I love that. I love that. Like, I don't compete with people. And I feel bad when people try to compete with me. I'm like, you're taking away time from your life. Like, create your life. Like, create, you know what I mean? Like, you can live your best life. You're taking away from that. It's so cool.
It is. And you know, what I kept thinking is even like competition is scarcity thinking. We live in an abundant universe. There's more than enough to go around. And like, there's an author, Edwene Gaines, and she wrote the 4 spiritual laws of success, I believe it was, or prosperity, 4 spiritual laws of prosperity. And one of the things that she would talk about is, I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've done that before. But anyway, she's an amazing, amazing woman. And she's always talking about how there's more than enough for everyone. And I highly recommend her books because it just brings everything back to, we live in an abundant world and not everybody wants the same thing. And like, we could both be, it's like, okay, sorry, let me stop, pop it in reverse. It's like Italian restaurants. You don't need just one. There needs to be more than one. It doesn't have to be. I'm not taking away from somebody else because I have my own Italian restaurant, for example. So there's always room for everyone. And if you're thinking in abundance, then that's what you get. You get abundance and it comes to you. So yeah, I love that you don't compete, because that is an energy suck, isn't it?
Totally. That's why I feel bad for people that do compete. I just want to see everybody living their fullest life, their best life. And when they're competing, and I'm not talking about a baseball game or a basketball game where it's fun, friendly competition. I'm talking about like the competing, and when you're wishing to be better than somebody else, come on, like nobody's better than anybody else. No matter where they are in life, they're choosing to be where they are. Somebody said, oh, I feel sorry for, somebody that was holding the stop and go with construction work. And it was raining and stuff like that. And I said, something, that person could feel like he's saving lives. This could be so rewarding. He can go home happy to his family, like so lit up about what he does, and go home so happy. Where somebody else who this person was telling me that they felt bad for this guy. Somebody else could be working a job where they're getting millions, but miserable, and so not present for their children and their spouse. So nobody is better or worse than anybody else. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about if you're, like stealing and killing, different things like that. And even then it's like, like this certain, I'm all about love everybody. Yes. You know what I mean? I'm really, like if you are living in a mindset of love, then you just want the best for everybody, and everybody's making their own choices. That's what they want. And you want to come from a place of love. And when you do it, that just produces happiness.
It really does. And, it just comes back to serving others. There's so many people out there. And, I had a guest on Monday and he was a sign spinner for a while. I mean, he went from being like wealthy to a sign spinner. But instead of feeling sorry for himself, he used that time to educate himself. And now he's back, financially where he was, if not better, and impacting lives and, writing books and doing all sorts of things. But he was proud of that job. Whereas, like you said, the guy, in the rain with the sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because of our perception doesn't make it their reality. So
yeah.
And also, it's kind of like that too. Like, I keep on thinking too about how, the wealthy person, we might think, like you said, that they have it all, but like you said, they could be angry. They could be ashamed of themselves for whatever reason, not present for their wife, their children, whatever the case may be. Nobody is better than everybody. I love that. Yeah.
My kids had a janitor, Mr. Jimmy, and he was fabulous. He loved those kids, and he wanted that building, that school so clean. I love Mr. Jimmy. And Mr. Jimmy won the lottery. Okay. Mr. Jimmy won $4 million. He was like in his 60s, I think. And this man could have quit. He could have resigned. He could have done anything, traveled the world, could have done anything. He showed up to a PTA meeting with his wife, and he just talked about how he wants to stay with the kids. He wants to stay in the building and keep doing, because he loved doing what he did, and he was such a good man, and I don't think he's there anymore. That was years ago. My kids are now 18, 19, and 23. It was a while ago since they were in LA. But he was just an amazing man. And here's a guy, he could have done anything, but he chose to do what he loved to do. So that's my point. Like, nobody's better than anybody else, no matter who they are. Love everybody the same,
Yeah. And all I could think of too is like murderers and all that. Talk about life off track.
Right. That's, what I see with people like that is, like I pray for them, which is a form of love. You know what I mean? Because if you're in prayer, then it's a form of love. I talk about with my ex-husband, when we were going through that tumultuous divorce, and it was just, I would get sucked into fighting. It was my choice because I engaged, so that's my side of the street, like I made that choice. And when I made the decision not to do that anymore, and I stopped it by saying, I pray for you. I just pray for you. And it felt so much better. Like I just would say, like, nobody would do this, whatever it was, I pray for you. And for me, it felt so much better. I wasn't in that funk. And for anybody going through any train wreck type situation with another human being, if you could just step into prayer instead of stepping into the other stuff, it's just such a great feeling. And again, that's when things also started to turn around for me big time. So so praying is a form of love. So those who are stealing and killing and everything else, not a good choice.
Not a good choice.
But for us, we can pray for them that they turn their lives around, that they get the help they need.
Absolutely. Something else that makes me think of my spiritual mentor. He always talks about all of these negative feelings that are caused by other people, and he's one that take responsibility for yourself. So, but things happen where maybe you get robbed, or maybe you're molested as a child, or things happen that you don't necessarily have control over. And the way that I finally heard it in a way that I could be like, okay, I can let this go, is he likened it to being bitten by a snake. Now, the poison's in you. You can go after that snake and murder that snake or do whatever that snake, be mad at that snake, but that's not going to help the poison that's in you. So let the snake go. Worry about the poison. Get that poison out of you. Like, the snake's going to be the snake. You don't have anything to do with that. It's not going to help you or save you to worry about where that snake is and if that snake is happy or, or whatever. So
that's great.
I just love that. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I could be upset about the snake biting me, but
right.
How long does that serve me?
And there's a lot of freedom in letting go. There's so much. It's like self-induced handcuffs. So self-induced kind of isolating handcuffs, and when you can let go. And I've had to do it. Everybody has to do it. Nobody gets to 18 unscathed. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's got something to deal with. And let it go, instead of carrying it like a backpack of bricks, or just like a ball and chain where it just, oh my God. When you can let it go, it's like you just let yourself out of jail. Like, you just opened up a cage and you're free, and the sun is shining, and the weather just smells so beautiful, and it's just such a better place to be. And letting go takes work, and some people don't work, and it's just like, be really good to yourself, like for the people listening, be really good to yourself, do the work. It's an investment in you. It's an investment in you. And then when you finally let it go, and there might be multiple things that you need to let go. If you have to take a year or whatever it is to just dedicate to you and just let it go, your whole life opens up. Your whole entire life opens up. And when I get out of bed lit up in the morning, I said it to you earlier, and to everybody else, I literally get up lit up every single morning, like excited for what the day has in store for me, because I let it all go. I'm not surrounded by negativity or the funk, and when I let it go, it's also like that, the law of, like, you put out to the universe based on your thoughts, and you magnetically attract back to you what you're feeling. So when I stopped giving focus or time to the negative people just dropped out of my life. Like, I didn't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, they just left.
I know that worked for me too. I was like, because there's a couple people that were in my life for a short period of time that it was important for them to be there, but they served their purpose. And I was like, oh, now I got to get rid of them. And then because my vibration changed, they just fell off. I didn't even have to have an uncomfortable conversation. I didn't have to anything. I was just like,
fall away. I know. It's so great. It's so good. Life is good.
It is. It's amazing. And especially if you let it be. I'm always big on saying you have to keep your eyes open for the blessings, because they're there. And if, you just have to pay attention and you'll see them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I always celebrate life, and you'll have a life worth celebrating. Like, celebrate life and you'll have a life worth celebrating. Like you just said, to your point, look for the blessings. They're there. You know what I mean? And when you're open to receiving blessings, you'll start to see them. It's like when I wanted, I said, I really want to model a Tesla Model X. You know what I mean? Like that's my goal car. I want the Tesla Model X. And all of a sudden I started seeing Tesla Model X's all over the place because that's where I trained my subconscious. Like this is important to Erin without even realizing it. But that's what we do with our thoughts. You know what I mean? Like we train our subconscious based on repetition. Whatever we repeatedly tell ourselves over and over and over again is what our subconscious takes on as, okay, this is important to Erin, this is important to Julianne. And that's what we'll start to see in our life because the subconscious clears out everything else because we're bombarded by the five senses with a gazillion different things coming in. So whatever we repeatedly say to ourselves, the subconscious says, okay, that's important, good, bad, or indifferent. So that's what we'll just start seeing and being focused on more and more and more. So that's another reason why you want to talk really good to yourself, over and over and over again. Yeah.
I mean, it's literally the reticular activating system in your brain. So you train your brain to see these things because it is your subconscious. And that is like all of a sudden you start noticing these things. And that's why sometimes you see the blessings that are there and sometimes you don't, because it depends on what you keep telling yourself. So
yes. And you know what? The really, really cool thing is the one thing that God gave us full control over. We have no control over anything and I say this all the time, not our blood flow, not our, nothing, not other people, zippo, zero. The one thing we have control over is when our thoughts come into our head, because we can't control that, thoughts come in, but we have 100% control over what we do with them, what we do with those thoughts. 100, it's the most powerful thing that God could have given us control over because it's our thoughts that determine everything. Our mindset determines everything. So we have, and for anybody listening, have that aha moment and write it down because you have full control over what you do with your thoughts. And it's a choice, negative in this present moment or gratitude and appreciation in this present moment. That's your choice. With the thought that comes in, is it going to serve you? Is it going to make you feel good? Focus on that. If the thought comes in and it's not going to make you feel good, it's a negative thought, let it go quickly. And I always say, because the most successful people in the world only focus on and speak about what they want. They do not focus on or speak about what they don't want, what they can't do. We make the most amount of mistakes, fail forward. But we let go of the negativity very, very quickly. We don't sit there going, oh my God, what the neighbors are going to think, or I'm not good enough, or what was I thinking? We don't do that. Like let go of the negativity very quickly, but always take the lesson forward, always. And it's when we're in the valley that we learn the best lessons, to get us to higher peaks every single time.
Oh, that's well said. Erin, it's been such a pleasure. Is there any last thoughts that you want to share with the audience? I wanted to make sure I put up your website again so that people can reach out to you.
Thank you. I just want to say, first of all, you are amazing. And the fact that you have this space it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me. You're an amazing coach. You're an amazing friend. You're an amazing woman. And, I just am so thrilled and happy that you're a part of my life. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. And for everybody listening, they should, hire you and go to your website and everything else, because you are amazing. So that's my last thought. I love you.
Oh, wow. So sweet of you. I love that. And then also, I just want to mention again that you already have books out. Can they get them on Amazon?
My cancer book is being redone. My Maggie the Magnificent, the futuristic character building children's books, they can get either through my website, theerinlay.com, or Amazon, anywhere online. So that's Maggie's in the Driver's Seat and Maggie and Mass Planet Pumpkin. I love those books. And then the Will to Live is being redone right now. So that's not available. It will be available within the next few months. Right now, we're focusing on getting Work Love out on June 1st. But actually, you know what? I do have a few here at home in my office. So if they email me, if they contact me through the website, and they can purchase it through me, and I'll mail it to them. Perfect. Yay. And you're going to be around on TV too. So for those of you watching, this is not the end. It's just the beginning. I'm so excited. Exactly. Well, Erin, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's always such a pleasure to have you and have a conversation with you. And it's so good to see you. Likewise. You too. Great to see you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Take care, Julianne. Oh, what an amazing woman. I didn't even want the hour to end. It always goes so quickly when I have fabulous people like her on the show. But
It is the end of the hour, so we do have to say goodbye until Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.